Okay, this is the last video in this series on how we do data import automation with AssetWorx. The final piece here is this batch file. It's fairly short, but it does quite a bit. And it's just a single file that gets run every 5 minutes by Task Scheduler. I thought I'd give a quick show of what it actually involves. There are some definitions here in terms of where a customer might want to put this data drop folder somewhere on the network where we're going to actually take this tab delimited data file that they create for new assets and drop it someplace. We can do that. I also have a backup folder for saving a copy of that data so that we can always go back to it. Let's say something happened in the network and we want to rerun that file. I do store that as well, and I'll show where that is. There's Here's the page itself. Here's the browser link to the file, the importer file. And as you go through this, what we do is we're looking at a certain folder for any text file. And if we find that text file, we grab it and we do a couple things. First of all, we kind of cleanse the data. We cleanse it to see if we can get rid of single quotes and double quotes. They're very, very commonly used in description fields for foot and inches. And that will kill us because in the end, we're going to create a JavaScript file out of the text data file that was supplied to us. Okay, so we're going to cleanse that data and replace that with FT for foot and IN for inch, right? We do that cleansing. If there was something else in the raw data that also needed to be added, we could do that here as well. Then when we do this, we actually get a time date stamp as well, because again, we're saving a copy of this information that's being sent to us. If I go, I have to think about that. We're storing this in a different place, so I'm going to, there it is. So the log files themselves are just a copy of what's being sent by the customer, but we append a time date stamp to it so we can easily go back to it, just to show you what it looks like, something like that, right? So we can rerun it if we want, or it's there for, an archive to prove or disprove that it actually came down. All right, then in the end, we're deleting things like the dropped file itself. We're deleting that. And toward the very end here, we launch the Edge browser. I'm trying to see where we do that. Where is that? There we go. Start Microsoft Edge with the URL for the file, the importer file itself. And then I sit there and I wait. And I can process about 1,500 assets per minute. So if I'm running this script every 5 minutes, maybe I want to give it 3 minutes of time to actually process whatever size of file there is. You have to kind of make your own decisions as to how big is that file going to be and how much time am I going to need to process it. So I have a timeout currently for 180 seconds, 3 minutes to process up to 4,500 assets in a single text file. Okay, and then at the end, after that timeout, we kill the browser and the page that is there. So we're ready for it to run in another 5 minutes if there is another text file that's been delivered. If there isn't a text file, this thing just ends the script without doing anything else. Anyway, it's just a simple, it's 106 lines of code in a batch file. Pretty simple and easy to edit and customize for any customer's environment.